Let's get the latest Harry and Meghan update, because there nearly always is one. I do feel dirty. I do feel I need to go wash myself, although I have to say in my home, because given I woke up this morning to boiler not working, no heating, no hot water, boiling the kettle to wash my hair in the sink, probably looks even worse than usual. I would wash my hands in cold water. But I do feel sort of dirty talking about Harry and Meghan all the time, because why are we still talking about these people? They're no longer working royals. They're just random whinging celebs on the other side of the world. Well, that's kind of relevant to the story that's in the news today and yesterday about them. The Sun front page: eviction notice from King Charles. Stunned Harry and Meghan must pack bags after the coronation. Yeah, they've been given a few months to move all their stuff out of Frogmore Cottage in the Windsor estate. But they're saying apparently they're shocked and this is cruel. But what's the issue? They don't live there. They live in Montecito in California. Let's talk to royal commentator Sarah Robertson. Good morning to you.
Morning, Julia, and your hair is looking lovely. Not worry.
There'll be just as many complaints as usual, Sarah. Don't worry. I haven't had a bad hair day. I've got a bad hair life. But it is what about you? Has not having a bad hair life. Meghan, loving your hair, Meghan. But I'm sure she can wash her hair in the sink or the shower of many different bathrooms in any of her many homes. It is extraordinary. They got basically given this free home at Frogmore Cottage. They spent a fortune doing it up. Ostensibly it was going to be at public expense until everyone, I don't darn well think so, and then they had to pay the money back. They've not lived there. They only stayed there, I think, for a couple of days since they left to go to Canada, then California. And now they're apparently shocked and upset that the house is being taken away from them. It's quite bizarre, isn't it?
Yes, well, this is an example yet again of Harry and Meghan doing their, claiming we want privacy, and then when something comes along that they don't like, they want to make sure the world hears that they don't like it, and throw their toys out of the pram. And that's what we've seen here. They're now wailing again that they no longer have this property, this $360,000 a year, which is the cost of it. The rent is $360,000 a year for the lease property to live in. But as you've pointed out, Julia, they've only stayed in the property a few days altogether since leaving back in 2020. They couldn't wait to get away fast enough. And also, it doesn't hold up to scrutiny what they're saying, that they were stunned and not expecting to leave. Because if you remember the documentary that they released last year on Netflix, there's pictures from that of them in Frogmore with, black and white photos of the house all packed up. Everything was shipped off to Montecito. So we have these photographic evidence of the fact that the house, was more or less dismantled. And the main things, give or take a few things that Meghan doesn't really care about or wouldn't suit her new Californian mansion, 14-bedroom mansion. She didn't want them, so it was just left in Frogmore. She took all the stuff that she wanted, and then what was left behind, was things that she was not really, bothered about. If she had
but it is quite bizarre. And again, at a time when we've got so many other things happening, and so many people are really, really struggling with paying their bills, to have this incredibly rich, privileged couple moaning about having this free house being handed on to, well, again, it's bad enough that it's going to Prince Andrew, because he's having to move out of his 31-bedroom royal lodge in Windsor Great Park. Why all these people need this number of bedrooms? I mean, I'd like a nice big house, but does it have to be that big?
Can I just point out on Andrew? Because Andrew spent over $7 million, you see, out of his own pocket on renovations to the royal lodge.
Sorry, let me get my little violin out there, Sarah.
But Julia, that will have to be paid back to him. He'll be able to get that money back. So this is, yes, exactly. What it is with Charles...
Wait a minute. Why does it have to be paid back to him? I know plenty of people. We had near neighbours who were renting, and they weren't happy with the kitchen. They decided to put in basically a new kitchen. They were planning to stay there a long time. They spent their own money. They didn't get that money back. They got the benefit of living with those renovations.
Well, if Harry and Meghan had to pay back $2.4 million that they were given for renovations, Andrew can claim, you see, for the $7.5 million that he spent, which he says is from his own pocket.
It's another world, isn't it? I mean, I keep asking, since this story emerged, I keep asking everyone though, did you, when you were a grown adult, did any relative of yours just come along and say, would you like a big house for free?
No.
Weird, isn't it? I don't know why it didn't happen to any of us. I know they're royals, but still. Do you think there'll be any sympathy for this couple?
No, none whatsoever, because the thing is Harry and Meghan have expressed no interest or desire to live back in the UK at all. They've made it explicit that for them, California is their home. I mean, Meghan, I don't think would ever care to set foot on English soil again, unless there was some amazing reason. So, you know, if King Charles decides to make her, you know, some sort of special guest of honour at the coronation, well, then she'll come hot-footing it over.
Yeah.
There has to be something in it for her to want to come back to this country. And there isn't. Why would they want to keep shelling out $360,000 a year of their own money for property that they're not using?
I know, and it's quite bizarre, isn't it? Sarah Robertson, royal commentator, fabulous hair. Thank you very much. We're going to talk about hair all morning now, with the fabulous hair. Emma Revel as well. Emma, I mean, I just feel like dirty talking about these ridiculous people and their ridiculously privileged, absurd life. I've got no issue with people earning a load of money and living a fabulous life. Good on you. You get as many private jets as you want. I don't care. It's the whinging and the moaning and the entitlement of these two that bother me.
I remember being on this show years ago, while they were still working members of the royal family, talking about how it was difficult to see whether they wanted to be royal or celebrity, and that there was no problem with either, but that Meghan felt like she wanted to be a celebrity, not a royal, and that they are fundamentally different things. Yeah. I think they've now decided very clearly they want to be celebrities, they want to be famous, they want to live in California. I am completely fine with all of those things, but then you don't get the royal family house.
Yeah. That's the deal.
It seems very
simple.
From
the word go again. I apologise to you, my lovely audience, for wasting your time with this trip. It is a big story. They are constantly in the news.